Hello, everybody, and welcome. We have an interesting game here that I played against top 5 player TaToH on the ladder just the other day. And been active the last 2 days trying to get my shape back a little bit. And with all the Titans League casting, I just see high-level AoE. I really just need to play. I'm an addict, right? And so, we had a 1v1 arena here against a player who doesn't normally play a ton of ranked in TaToH. So, like I said with the intro, TaToH's, in my opinion, top 5, maybe currently, maybe a little bit out of that, but he's a master strategist and always bringing some unique things to the table. So immediately knew I would be under a bit of pressure here. Now, I don't know if TaToH picked mines intentionally or not, but I did force pick Burgundians. So this isn't a random situation for me. These days, I'm trying to ban Arena less because I feel like it's not helping me learn. As it is a weaker map for me. And so I will play high-level civilizations on the map. Essentially, with the thinking of, if we're thinking improvement, the best thing that helps me improve is actually playing civilizations that we may see if you were to play a tournament, right? Random Civ Arena, let's face it, there's like maybe 6 to 8 civilizations that should beat all the rest, at least at the high level. And while there is variety there, if I'm going to play it, I like to spice it up a little bit. So, we're going to speed it up a little bit. TaToH noticed it was me and says, oh boy, oh boy. And TaToH and I go way back. I know him very well, so I knew we were in for a bit of a tough game here. So, Burgundians have the early eco upgrades. It is the superior civ here, I would say, just purely based on the economic side. And usually the way the Burgundians are played is they're played with eco, but also contesting for relics. So cheaper, stable upgrades means you can pretty easily get light cav out. You snag the relics, you get some food income from the relics too. It's just super adaptable play. And that's really good for me because I like to have some army presence. I don't like to lack map control. So that's how I typically play the Burgundians. Now, I was thinking though, like, Mayans could be fairly aggressive here. If the matchup is awkward, we could potentially see almost like a castle drop style from TaToH, but you're never really certain on what can happen on Arena. So I was going back and forth on how I wanted to play this in my mind. And so I ended up deciding on to stick with what I know best, and then we'll adapt from there. And that's the thing about the scout opening. I figured I could at least get some value from it. I'm already starting to find some of the relics over here to know exactly where they're at. I did notice our bases were relatively close. And TaToH, I don't know if you caught it on screen, he actually was using his eagle to bring in his boars. So he's actually healing up the eagle warrior inside the TC right now, which is kind of a smart play. A little bit of extra efficiency there. But TaToH, clearly building up towards a fast castle as it is arena, and now sending a villager over to stone. So this is going to be the castle drop style, which again, I thought could happen. But I also thought, maybe TaToH goes spearman, maybe he mixes eagles. Like that would be another option here to try and snag the relics. And then eventually, Mayans could be really dangerous in the late game as well. I think like a combination of eagles and plumed archers would be the goal. So he's on the way up. And now I'm on my way up as well. And so I will slow it down eventually here, guys, but because it's arena, I kind of figured speeding through some of this stuff is important. But my thinking is scouts and adapt. I have the early eco upgrades. Not the biggest fan of my lumber camp positions, honestly. I was also debating if I'd stay on one lumber camp for a bit. There's a whole thing I don't need to get into, but drop the stable, drop the blacksmith, and have a pretty clean build here, if I do say so myself. TaToH does as well, though. And TaToH is going to add one more Vil and then get Loom, which tells you what he's going to do. There's really no reason to loom up your Vils unless you're leaving your base. And so I'm trying to get a peek. I'm like, what's he doing in there, right? What's the plan here? I'm thinking these 3 relics could be pretty easy for me to snag. This one's really close, so I'm really happy to be able to get that one. But I do have all of my golds pretty far forward here. It's not the best map ever. TaToH's gold, for example, is pretty safe. My stone's still fine. But obviously, if I lose control of this area, we could have some pretty massive problems. TaToH sees my scouts over on the left side, and here he comes. So he added a barracks. He's added spears. We can slow it down now. And so, from my perspective, I'm still actively trying to search, and I see the vills. So I'm immediately like, oh, boy. Oh, man. So I already know I have the eco lead. This is a bit of an all-in. I need to be patient here. It's very hard to be patient when you have TaToH walking towards your base to drop a castle on you. But I had to be as patient as I could. And believe me, you feel the difference. Like, when I'm trying to do this against someone at my elo, I normally have a little bit more opportunity here, but I just didn't have an opportunity without taking losses. TaToH drops the houses. It seems like he's going to get this castle down. And so I now have to damage control. So in the moment, without necessarily knowing what was coming, I have to think of, okay, how do I manage this? And so that's why I want to bring this to you guys, because it's a fun game, but also I get to talk you through kind of what I was thinking, you know? So first off, I'm trying to make TaToH work. Trying to make TaToH micro a lot, quick wall a lot. And I know already, I'm on 2 TCs, I'm Burgundians. I got these crazy eco upgrades. I have the better economy. How do I hold this? So, castle from TaToH means plumes. And so I'll add the siege workshop to properly defend from the plumes. And I built my TC to protect my gold, because like the gold is a big problem for me. And also I stonewall here, so I can't allow him to access here. My gold is protected on this side, and now I have siege. Now where this gets tough is, usually this becomes a fast imp type of race. And so my thinking is, I need to eventually get a castle. I need to treb this down. And since he has the monastery, I also have to prevent him from getting the relics. So again, this, you just feel the slight level difference. I'm being as active as I can with these light cav. I have the mobility advantage. But every time I go in to try and get a snipe, TaToH's seemingly prepared. These plumes are being microed. He's prepared there. Here he's got spears around. And he's going to be through. And I saw he got fletching, and I saw he had plumes out. So I know that I need the Mangano. It took me a little bit of time to get the gold for that. I didn't initially have a lot of gold. And I kind of figured this game doesn't come down to me getting relics anymore. This comes down to holding the better economy, getting the better position. You see what I mean? Like right there, I go in. That could have been a plumed archer kill, and he just moved it perfectly. Still moving around with the light cav. Still moving around with the light cav. He's just got 1 relic. And back at home for him, he's 1 TC. So he doesn't have horse hauler. He doesn't even have bow salt. The res collected difference is there for me. We're in a really good position. As long as we can get up to the Imperial Age. But we're also spending resources at a faster rate here. So I've got my Mangano just kind of waiting. And so far, things are all right for me. Light cav split up. TaToH's just tracking them so nicely. But there is the aspect of I'm making my opponent work for it, at least. So, I kind of felt like TaToH was going to go imp. Like right now, going to go imp or something, right? So that's my thinking. TaToH knows I have a siege workshop with a flag. So he has an idea. And I'm actually making a gate here. I think so I could snag the relics. So I was still hoping that I could be active out there. There I'm able to kill a monk finally, but he's about to get relic number 3. TaToH has enough stone for a castle. He saw my siege workshop, so this is smart moves from him. He goes Town Watch for vision and drops an outpost, so he has even more vision on what's going on. He doesn't even know my TC is there. And I'm still trying to nerd out with my light cap. Like, this is a lot of work, but my resources are rising for imp. I'm on stone for my own castle on a fast imp. I'm doing good, guys. I'm doing good. As long as things stay as they are right now, okay, these light cav could die, that's fine. As long as I click up to imp, things should be good for me. And TaToH's now dropping a castle. And I've got 2 mangonels. TaToH just has 1 mangonel. He's dropping it directly on my face. This is a nervy moment for me. My thinking was drop the gate so he can't run in with anything. But the pathing gets kind of awkward here. Castle's at 20%. And TaToH's plumes are microing on the right side against the monk. His villagers are still building, though. And TaToH gets a beautiful trade there. And TaToH gets a beautiful trade there. I mean... I was so frustrated with myself. Like... I say it all the time, right? Like, people like to... You know, for... It is a strategy game, but, like... If you could do more with less, it makes a massive difference. And some of the best players could just do right... They could just out-micro you, right? Well, guess what? This game isn't over yet. He might have 2 castles up, but I'm on the way to Imp. And so, similar to what I had to do before, where I had to damage control. Also, shout out to Emote Dispenser who showed up in my Twitch chat in this moment, asking about Titans League, even though I'm recording a YouTube video. Someone leave a YouTube comment about him. But focus time. I got to make another layer of walls. Because I have, like, very little protection. So if he gets in at all, I have problems. So, I've seen enough games to know that he'll want to dive here. But I only have these 2 villagers on gold. This really compromises my gold income. So I'm going to be relying heavily on the market. I do get the trade there. Just barely outrange his Mangonel. And this is my Imp TC, by the way. Probably shouldn't have gone Imp in this TC. But I figured both these TCs kind of suck for the Imperial Age. And he's massing plume after plume, and he's recently clicked up as well. So 44 vills for TaToH. 60 vills for me. I will have a castle. And again, my goal is treb all this down. Maybe find some room to breathe a little bit. Have the better economy. I mean, the relics are all on the front here. This is very winnable for us. We have to hold from these plumes. We have to get rid of those castles. Eventually, I can get to maybe some skirms, hand cannons, bombard cannons to push this back. The eco's still looking pretty nice back here. But man, is it expensive to repair TCs. This TC has taken 4,000 damage. And you're going to see me use the market a lot here to try and just get a little bit of gold. Now, TaToH, he knows that I'm having resource problems. He's sitting on all 3 of my golds right now. And he's even positioned this Mangonel in a position where if he wanted to, he could maybe even go in and take these 2 vills off gold. He just kind of feels as though I'm 1 mistake away from losing the game, and that's absolutely the case. I snag the chemistry upgrade. Burgundians get really strong bombard cannons, and Mayans don't even get bombard cannons. So the plan was to make bombard cannons from this workshop. But I am not really floating the resources to make that next treb right now. I've got so many vills on wood, but I still have so little wood. It's crazy. And I'm just ready. I know if I advance too far, my Mangonel goes down to his castle. But once this castle's out, I can maybe breathe and take the gold again. We're very close to potentially having a chance. Plumed Archer was converted with my random monk. TaToH's now an Imp. He'll get Bracer now, so the castle will get even stronger, but he has no villagers on stone. And I need more repairs here on this TC. TaToH's plumes are going to hop out with Bracer, and he's clearly thinking about making a move. And we micro here. We trade 1 for 1, and TaToH's just going to dive with the plumes. And this is a problem. This TC's almost down. I need to quick wall now. And so I'm placing what I can. I'm placing houses. Unfortunately, there's a gap here. The TC's going to go down. I've got a bombard cannon here as well. So, you know, damage control in whatever way I can, guys. And unfortunately, this is just too much damage. I decided to tap out. TaToH's got too many plumes. Now, I kind of wish I wouldn't have resigned right here. I still think I'm in a really rough spot. But I think I wish I would have played on for a little bit longer for 2 reasons. First off, I think TaToH's about to do damage to his own plumes. Like, with that trajectory, it's going to hit the middle of the TC. His plumes are going to be there. Now, I'm still going to lose 11 vills. He's still going to have plumed archers on the map. He's still going to have 5 relics. But assuming these walls go down, the bombard cannon and the treb maybe take down this castle. I don't know. It felt like these were just some heavy losses and that I had no control. But I didn't know I actually had a 20 villager lead. You know, I wanted to bring this game to you guys because it's kind of fun to think about. Like, what could I have done differently? It was a very challenging game. I'm going to tell you, the first mistake from me was actually the scout opening. I think if you have the eco lead to this degree, the Mayans are always going to need to be somewhat aggressive. And I think what could have been better for me is go for more of a boom approach. But apart from that, it's just small differences in damage control. So I was thinking about this. So obviously, when the castle starts to come up, I've got to make the decision in the moment. But let's say this exact same situation happens. I'm going to tell you what I would love to do a little bit differently here, okay? So the stone wall on this side was awesome. I like that move. How much stone do I have remaining after that? Okay, so 50. I think I needed a stone wall here. It might not seem like a lot, but if I stone wall here, I can actually use my mangonel to hit his gold, and it's a better position to deny the castle as well. Another small thing would have been, well, obviously, I like here. See, I'm like very scared of this castle, and rightly so, but there's still space for me to work with. So I think walling this way instead of adding this gate would have been beneficial for me. And then I think in some of these moments, I'm in a slightly better position to feel comfortable. And maybe the micro is even a bit better. It was very awkward for me to move around because I couldn't eject units here. And then with this house, I just had like limited space for the mangonels. It made it a little bit easier for him to take the engagements, I think. So again, just thinking about this, I think if I could play this exact moment over again, I would just change my wall position and maybe things go a little bit differently. But the biggest issue for me was that he got that castle up. I needed to deny that castle or at least do more damage to the Vils building that castle. That was just a disaster engagement. And it was just a really good game from TaToH. What are you going to do? It was well played. Still a fun one. And that's what it comes down to, man. Like, small moments here or there, especially in an all-in situation, change the game. And TaToH's one of the very best. But I felt a fun one to bring to you anyways. It was a relatively fast game. He obviously castle dropped my face. But if I ever play TaToH again on Arena, and it's this matchup, or it's a castle drop matchup, I think I learned a couple things there. Just a tiny little details. I'm still not a good micro player, so I'll probably still, throw the game and lose on my army and then come make a video about it and look bad. But hey, if you enjoyed the video, let me know. Actually played a banger game against TaToH immediately after this, which I will also bring to you guys as well soon. So thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it all, and I'll see you all in another one soon.